Hello, my name is Makinley Beard, and today I'm going to be presenting on the question of, is Google making us stupid? So those who agree with this statement say that Google and the internet cause many distractions, and it's a constant distraction that leaves our brains scattered in a hurried state. So we rely on instantaneous information that's not memorized or internalized, and our intelligence is not just simply the ability to access quick information, but it's actually the ability to think deeply. Those who would say, no, Google is not making us stupid, say we can acquire information on Google that cannot be found anywhere else. We widen our views and see all sides of an argument clearly, and we can access new information quickly, or in some cases in real time. And then also tools online can help us understand concepts that we are unsure of. So in the article that we looked at, we saw two different arguments. Carr's argument is saying, yes, Google does make us stupid. In standard form, his argument says, 1. Google doesn't add to our intelligence, just allows us to access information quickly. 2. People are constantly distracted while using the internet. 3. Distractedness being scatterbrained doesn't allow our brains to think deeply. 4. Google makes us shallow in our ideas. 5. Google doesn't produce deep thinking, just quick facts. Therefore, Google is making us stupid. On the other hand, Norvig's argument says, no, Google does not make us stupid. And in standard form, his argument states, 1. Those in the past were critical of up-and-coming ideas that are now seen as critical to intelligence. 2. The internet exposes us to global, up-to-date information immediately. 3. Google is a convenient way to acquire history and other articles not easily accessible otherwise. 4. We can obtain a more complete knowledge of an argument from both sides. 5. We can think faster by using the internet. Therefore, Google does not make us stupid. Now we're going to look at the definition of intelligence that Carr and Norvig have. Carr says, what makes us intelligent isn't our ability to find lots of information quickly, it's our ability to think deeply about that information. While Norvig says, when the history of our current age is written, it will say that Google has made us smarter, both individually and collectively, because we have ready and free access to information. So, do they agree on their definition of intelligence? No. Carr believes that having intelligence means the ability to think deeply, while Norvig believes that intelligence comes from having access to information. My viewpoint on this argument is that yes, Google is making us stupid. My argument is brought up by the facts that we consume information on the internet as though it's true when in reality it might be false. We have become dependent on constantly having anything we want to know at our fingertips. And we also have tools such as AI that allow comprehension to be done for us. We no longer need to understand anything for ourselves because we can just look it up. So according to Carr, he says, if you're really interested in developing your mind, you should turn off your computer and your cell phone and start thinking, really thinking. You can Google all the facts you want, but you'll never Google your way to brilliance. So in my opinion, I think we must ask ourselves if we are concerned with the quick knowledge facts or true brilliance which comes from the ability of critically thinking. Some more reasons why I think Google is making us stupid is that previously I had looked up a fact about science and I brought it to my teacher's attention, as well as I checked it with my textbook, and it was in fact not correct. And in that moment when I was asking my teacher if it was correct, and when I just believed that Google had the right information, I was stupid. And it's not because I had the wrong answer. It was because I was completely relying on Google to have the correct information and believing it as truth. I also looked at a study by the National Library of Medicine, and authors Joseph Firth and a couple of other people say, the ability to access information online caused people to become more likely to remember where these facts could be retrieved rather than the facts themselves, indicating that people quickly become reliant on the internet for information retrieval. So they did a study where they found that people aren't actually retaining any of the information that they're Googling. They're just remembering that they can go to Google to find these answers. So since people are not retaining information searched, therefore no knowledge is truly being gained. So this is my argument in standard form. My argument is an inductive argument because if all of these premises are true, it is likely that my conclusion is true as well. The nature of my argument was based in personal experiences and scientific studies. So 1, we are quick to believe everything on the internet. 2, we are dependent on others' comprehension instead of critically thinking through ideas. 3, faster knowledge does not equal better comprehensive knowledge. 4, we do not think critically when using Google. 5, information from Google is not being retained. Therefore, Google is making us stupid. So what does somebody opposed to me say? They would probably disagree with my statement that we depend on others' interpretations of ideas instead of gaining understanding on our own. Norvig says, by considering a wide range of information, we can arrive at more creative and informed solutions. Internet users are more likely to be exposed to a diversity of ideas. So because we have this access to a vast variety of opinions, the naysayer might say that we're not secluded to just one opinion, and we can use arguments from both sides to formulate our own ideas. This is my response to that naysayer. Merely having access to information doesn't make you intelligent. Yes, we do have access to all sides of a conversation, but we should not depend on others' reasonings on the internet. In politics, for example, there are fundamental issues that we need to make up our own reasoning on our own. So we need to rely on personal deep thinking to come to conclusions. We are not intelligent if we are constantly relying on other people to think for us. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.